Have you ever thought about whether you're really prepared for retirement? Hi, I'm Nick, and I recently ran an Instagram poll asking my peers, how much do you think an average Singaporean needs to retire comfortably at 60? The results were interesting. 69% of you believe it is over $1 million. Today, I'll share some numbers based on my research and see how accurate the results are. Stay till the end of the video and I'll share how we can better plan for our retirement. Let's start with some hard facts. According to the latest SingStat report from 2017-2018, the average household expenditure for ages 60 to 64 is around $3,008 per month, dropping to $2,007 per month for those 65 and older. If we assume a household size of 2, that's about $1,009 per person per month from 60 to 64 and $1,350 from 65 onwards. Now, the current life expectancy is around 83 years. Given that life expectancy is likely to increase, let's plan for the possibility of living up to 88 for us. So how much do we actually need to save? Let's take the sum of expenses from age 60 to age 88. The total amount needed in 2017-2018 was around $480,000. But if you plan to retire in the 2050s, with inflation, you will need about $1.15 million per person. Wow, most of you really got it right. We do need more than $1 million for retirement if we were to retire at 60 years old. Going back to the report findings, the $480,000 needed in 2017-2018 will now be worth roughly $550,000. The big question is, can the average Singaporean realistically achieve this today? According to HDB, more than 80% of Singaporeans live in a HDB flat. A common scenario is owning a 4 or 5 room HDB flat during your working years and downsizing after the kids move out to free up some retirement funds. Let's walk through a quick simulation. Imagine a married couple in their 30s back in 1992. They bought a 5 room HDB flat in Hougang for just $165,000. Fast forward 32 years, their kids have moved out and they decide to downsize to a 3 room flat in the same area. In 2024, they sell their 5 room flat for $690,000, more than 4 times what they paid. After 32 years, their loan is fully paid off, so they pocket the full $690,000 in cash and CPF OA. Next, they buy a nearby 3 room HDB for $438,000. They also need to cover buyer's stamp duty of $7,000 and renovations, which we will estimate at $76,000. So how much do they have left for retirement? After all costs, they are left with $168,000. Split between the two of them, that's $84,000 each. With this amount, they have only $8.30 to spend on every day for the next 26 years. Do you think this will be enough? If we were to include the potential healthcare expenses in our later years, I think it is clear we need to plan so much more. From our initial calculation, if the same couple plans for retirement to cover everyday expenses for the next 20 over years, they will need $550,000 each for retirement today. Even if they set aside the full retirement sum in CPF, which is $205,000 in 2024, there is still a shortfall of $260,000 per person. So what could they have done differently? Let's say they decided to upgrade instead. After staying in the Hougang 5-room HDB for 5 years, in 1997, they sell their HDB for $430,000. They then buy a 3-bedroom condo at Kensington Park for $1.155 million. The profit from selling their HDB covers the 20% down payment and stamp fees. After 17 years, in 2014, they sell the condo for $2.11 million. One key thing to highlight is that during these 17 years, the couple has been paying off their loan. That is why when they sell their Kensington Park, they can now buy a 4-bedroom new launch at Panorama for $1.64 million, all in cash and CPF OA with no loan. In 2023, they sell the Panorama unit for $2.55 million, then downsize to a 4-room HDB flat in Hougang. After all costs, they are left with around $1.93 million or about $967,000 each for retirement. This amount is more than 11 times from the first scenario and the couple will be much more prepared for retirement. I know some of you might be thinking, what if property prices don't increase as much in the future? And that's a fair point. So let's take a more conservative approach. Even if property values don't appreciate, we can still upgrade our property and treat it like a forced savings plan. At retirement age, we can then cash out our hard-earned savings for a more comfortable retirement. For instance, assume we are 60 years old today and we choose to retire now. We plan to retire in a $600,000 HDB and need about $1.15 million per person for retirement as per our initial calculation. we should aim to grow our property portfolio to at least $2.9 million before we retire. This way, even without significant price increases, we are still on track to achieve our retirement goals. If we want to include inflation of 2.5%, the $2.9 million needed today would translate to $6 million in 30 years. If you ask me, this amount sounds really crazy. But this is also why it is really important to start building our net worth in our earlier years. Do note that these figures represent expenses of an average Singaporean household. You may require lesser or more depending on your lifestyle. Of course, there are other ways to prepare for retirement, like investing in liquid assets or topping up your CPF accounts. But if you don't actively plan, the first scenario might be what many Singaporeans face. Timing your property exit is crucial too. Exiting at the wrong time could mean missing out on profits and future profitable opportunities. I hope this video has given you some insights into what retirement could look like for you. If you want to explore how you can prepare better, feel free to contact me for a discussion. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.